People said the COVID-19 virus has been with us longer than we knew. Maybe. One thing we do know is that we really don't know much. But 2020 marked the beginning of this invisible war. I can, but I don't want to tell you how disappointed, sad, and worried I was at the beginning when I saw few people pay much attention to the pending pandemic. Of course, no one expected the situation to get as bad as it did. But now even the most optimistic ones have had to face the possibility that the worst may not yet be over. After losing 1 year freedom, many were willing to risk all to have their freedom back. And many in the media would twist facts to make it sound the way they wanted. Even fact-based numbers can be misleading. For example, I can point to this chart at worldometer.info and tell you that your risk of getting seriously ill is very low. Because as of April 5, 2021, out of the current 22 million cases, only 0.4% are in serious or critical condition. I can also point to the CDC site and get a detailed analysis on deaths based on age and cause of death after getting COVID-19. And smart people would take out a calculator and say, as a young American, my chances of getting infected is low since people around me already got vaccinated or carry the antibodies from a prior infection. Even if I do somehow get infected, I have only a 0.4% chance of getting seriously ill. And even if I do get seriously ill, a 0.1% chance of dying based on these statistics. So why should I worry? Maybe I should not worry. But my friend's brother-in-law just died, and he was in good health. 70 years old, had a short business travel, tested positive, and died during quarantine without much symptom. Someone else I knew for almost 20 years thought he got the flu, took some medicine, and 5 days later died in a hospital of COVID. He had just turned 65 and retired. Good overall health. So why? Why did they die? I am not an expert, so there's not much I can do to solve this mystery. But with plenty of COVID statistics around, I can do my own research to avoid being totally misled by the media. I will share with you what I have found. However, before we start, we have to know that almost everyone acknowledges that the actual number of infected and deaths may be higher than what was been reported in every country. At the beginning of the virus outbreak, the fatality rate is super high because non-symptomatic cases will not be counted, while the most lethal virus strains may kill those infected before they can even reach the hospital or infect others. The death versus recovery curve can look like this. We know China got the virus locked down, while Brazil showed initially a 90% death rate, but quickly dropped to the current about 2.5%. However, Mexico's data told a totally different story. In my prior videos about Mexico, we studied several articles and realized Mexico's high COVID death rate can be due to its high percentage of those that are chronically ill, who also have bad eating habits, and those that are overweight. However, when I checked the life expectancy of Mexico, I found it to be lower than the USA's 78.54. Brazil's 75.67, and Colombia's 77.11, and Argentina's 76.52. While all these supposedly healthier countries took top spots on the COVID case chart, USA being number 1, Brazil being number 2, even Colombia and Argentina has more infected cases. The Chilenos are known for their longevity of 80.04, but they currently hold the world's number 22 spot with over 1 million infected. I am sure chronic disease and obesity affect life expectancy, but with all the athletes in Jamaica, their life expectancy is only 74.37 and is even shorter than that of Mexico. Plus, if COVID kills mostly older people, Mexico's average household size is 3.9, while USA is 2.6. With Mexico's 4-year shorter life expectancy compared with the USA and way more younger people based on household size, should Mexico have a lower COVID death per million? Actually, with so many numbers in this COVID chart, I don't even know which number I should be reading. But checking under death per million led me to a surprising find. Mexico actually does have a lower death per million number versus the USA, and is slightly higher than Brazil and France, but slower than Spain, the UK, and Italy. So, other than telling me everyone is in trouble, what else did we find out? Actually, the USA seemed to have turned the tide with the vaccine. Italy and Spain were hit hard on the first wave with the worst casualties. UK also stocked up on the vaccine and has had significantly lower COVID deaths. While France's infection spread was scary, but the death toll is not as bad at the current wave. Sadly, although Brazil secured 24 million doses of the vaccine, which is enough for about 5.6% of its population, its case and deaths are still skyrocketing. You may wonder, why do I spend so much time analyzing these numbers? Because this is a war, and we need to know our enemy. After studying the number carefully, I decided to focus on Mexico. If we look at total death, then Mexico is far behind the USA and Brazil. If we look at death per million, countries in Europe seem to top the chart. If we look at fast-spreading variants, we should worry about South Africa. Mexico has been doing bad, and no one other than the people suffering there seem to care. So why should we worry about it? Because other countries all have their ups and downs, but Mexico did not have a good day since the pandemic started. Some people have told me it's the government's fault. Some say the media spreads wrong information. Some say their vaccine rollout has been a total failure. Whatever the reason is, how can we turn a blind eye on over 200,000 deaths in just the last year? But what can we do? Mexico has a national health care system, which means anyone can get medical treatment if they need or want it. Mexico's GDP ranks 16th in 2019, although its per capita GDP is the 64th. I hope I can find out the real reason behind Mexico's high coronavirus death toll, because we need to know the reason so we can better fight our enemy. What is my chance of solving the mystery when I have 0 experts, don't speak the language, and live half a world away? Studying the numbers does not help, but I am very worried. What if the high death rate is due to a variant not yet identified? What happens if the virus spreads to other countries? Could it be behind Brazil's recent spike? Don't blame the death toll on chronic disease, because if that is the case, why is Mexicans' life expectancy only 4 years less than people in the States? If you don't think Mexico has a huge coronavirus problem, look at this chart. Don't use the death per million number, because we need to see what is happening now. Let's use the death versus new case ratio, and you will see how most countries stay under 3%, while Mexico stays around 10%. Knowing is believing, but knowledge does not always bring power. I want to help, but with 1,000 Mexicans dying every day, I can't wait. So I came up with an idea. Kind of crazy, but I think it worked. On December the 8th, 2020, I met an energy master at a Chinese medicine award ceremony. He got a top award for Chinese medicine healing. I actually was very surprised because he uses remote energy. Not herbs, not acupuncture. Honestly, I did not even know there was such a Chinese medicine practice until that day. But he has helped over 300,000 people during the last 30 years. Wow. After reading articles about him and his healing, I asked him a question he did not expect. I said, if you can kill hepatitis B virus, can you kill COVID-19? I heard about his experiment killing 99.77% hepatitis B virus in 17 separate lab tests. When he said he thought he could, I asked if he could do it remotely. Again, he said yes. So I presented him with a challenge. I found a European country suffering COVID outbreak. The country has only one hospital and surrounded by Austria and Switzerland. Master 1 agreed to send remote healing energy to the hospital for 7 days and send me recording each day. I will watch the number posted by worldometer.info daily. I was shocked when I saw the critically ill drop 24% after 2 days' work. Recoveries jumped on the 10th day, and on January 22, 2021, about 30 days after the end of the healing, Liechtenstein had only 42 active cases. 4 weeks later, on February the 18th, 2021, Liechtenstein had only 4 infected despite the surrounding Austria and Switzerland were both devastated during that time. Encouraged by this, I presented the master with another challenge. I asked him to help Mexico. It took 8 days to help Liechtenstein's 38,000 people. I don't know how long it will take for him to help the world's 10th most populous country with 130 million people. We know no one would believe the master's energy helped Liechtenstein's recovery. And we know how people may laugh at us if we try to help Mexico. But with the death toll climbing, we have to try. The plan was set to work on 1 hospital per week. And we started with Tijuana General on February the 8th, 2021. The following week, we chose 2 hospitals in Monterrey, as requested by a viewer, because one of the hospitals is a COVID hospital. The master did 10 days' work. On the 11th day, the viewer told us the COVID alert was downgraded. We then started working on Mexico City. The master would try to send positive energy that would help not only the hospital, but also the surrounding area.
今天是2020年3月17日晚上11点，我已应王思源小姐从3月11日到3月17日连续7天晚上10点到11点发工到墨西哥市，针对新冠肺炎隔空调理。那我发工的位置是墨西哥市天使医院和鹿园医院2家医院。我感受到这7天的能量已经在改变新冠肺炎朋友的身体，我也相信他们能够身体早日康复，远离病苦。谢谢。
From Europe to America, countries one by one fell under the evil virus. But Mexico seemed to be holding its ground. On the 7th week, I calculated the weekly average daily death and found it dropped every week from early February 1,100 per day to 503 a day. Wow. After 8 weeks of work, the master took 5 days off so he could help people desperately needing his help in Taiwan. He then resumed the work on March 23, 2021. This time he sent magnetic energy fields remotely in the remaining 6 angel hospitals in Mexico City. The extra effort the master put in seemed to help. The first 4 days of April daily death over case are all under 10%. We only saw 5 times for the prior 2 months. And on April 6, new case dropped to 1247. That is a number we had not seen since May 6, 2020, before Mexico's pandemic. The last time Mexico reported 135 deaths was October 2020. You may call that pure luck, or COVID gravity, since every country has its ups and downs with the COVID numbers. But not for Mexico. It had not seen a good day since its first reported case. We even went all the way back to December 1, 2020. But the numbers dropped like a rock since the remote healing started on February 8, 2021.
Om Mani Padme Hum。这次针对墨西哥新冠肺炎发功，是应王思源小姐祈求。我已从3月30号到4月5号连续7天，每天晚上10点到11点的发功，到墨西哥4家医院。这4家医院分别是拉比综合医院、伊拉塔帕伊院总医院、恩克里卡布雷拉综合医院、格雷戈里奥萨拉斯综合医院。希望经由这4家医院的正能量的磁场散播到墨西哥城市，让更多区域和医院的新冠肺炎朋友接收到我的能量。谢谢各位。
I know you would not believe it was the master even after I show you his video. The name and address of the hospitals and the daily numbers. But it does not matter. We did not do it for fame nor fortune. We have been only trying to help.
大家好，我是万珍，祈福大家健康平安。今天应王思源小姐请求，隔空发功传送能量到墨西哥市4家医院，希望能够经由这次将4家医院正能量的磁场散播到墨西哥城市更多的区域和医院。我发功的4家医院是华雷斯医院、米格沙代医院、圣科莱塔医院、天使圣埃琳医院。我发功的时间是 2021年4月6日到4月12日，台湾时间每天晚上10点到11点，隔空发功针对新冠肺炎调理。我发功的位置是苗栗圣学宫。
Can remote energy sent by one person reduce COVID death in the world's 10th most populous country? The COVID deaths and case both dropped 66% in just 57 days. In these 57 days, COVID did not stop its killing. Actually, the trend is alarming when you consider the top 5 countries. USA's death shadow dropped from February's 11% to March's 5.6%, mostly because of the vaccine. Brazil jumped from 12.7% to 20% in March. Colombia and Argentina both held steady around 7%. But Mexico dropped from 13.6% in February to 7.42% in March. Maybe you are upset with the master helping only Mexico, but not other countries. Well, Mexico is the only country still with a 10% COVID death rate. Compare that with Brazil's 4%, USA's 1.2%, Colombia's 2%, and Argentina's 1%. And you will see why we made this obvious choice. Hopefully the good trend will continue for the master to move to other badly needed places, like South Africa, to combat the variant, or he can finally focus on helping people near him. This is Ken Peters. Thank you for watching.